Hello, friends. It's the Priestess of Wonderland here to welcome you in to 2025 and to shout at the top of my lungs to let winter be winter. And it is more important than ever to allow yourself to retreat, rest, and recuperate because 2025 is a hermit year, a number 9 in numerology, which is represented by the Hermit card. So, this is your permission slip from the Priestess of Wonderland to rest, retreat, and hermit mode as many times as you need to recharge, but to remember not to isolate, to allow yourself to reignite that light within and to send out that lantern as a beacon for the rest of us. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Hermit card. I'm going to talk about all of the nines in the tarot deck. On top of that, I've got a channeled message from my guides specifically for you in this community. So head over to Discord, print yourself out a lantern coloring page and color while you're watching this because I want to see your light. I want to see you go into hermit mode and rest and recharge and come out even more powerful and brighter and more creative and more inspired to be the unique version that I know that you are. So last year we had an 8 year, which is symbolized in the tarot deck as the strength card. And so, what I kind of learned from looking at that strength card for representing last year as kind of having to encounter situations and obstacles and lessons that would require you to find your inner strength and required you to be strong. So, if we look at 2025 as a 9 year, it is represented by the Hermit card. The Hermit, as we all know, is going into hermit mode is like kind of isolating yourself, going within. We see this image of like an old wise man with a lantern, but we also get that imagery of like being alone in a cabin in the woods and like stepping away or stepping out from society. So I look as at the hermit as representing 2025 as needing to self isolate, to go within, to whether that's actually retreating to a cabin in the woods or some sort of vacation where you can be alone and kind of step away from your life and step away from the people in your life to be alone with your own thoughts and to go within, or whether that's taking some time out to just meditate throughout the day, rest, regroup, and recuperate. So I thought I could talk a little bit about the themes of the hermit and the themes of the nine in the tarot card and how we might kind of look into 2025 and kind of start to set our foundation. Think about like what kind of things we might encounter this year and how we might want to create this safe space to, I don't want to use the word isolate, to withdraw and to go within so that you're able to kind of step back out into society. Take these breaks to rest and recuperate so that you can come back again. So, when we look at the Hermit, I'm going to read from the 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollack, her description of the Hermit card. The idea of the Hermit goes in two directions, one inner and one outer. So that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, I think that we're going to need to retreat within and then remember to step back out, to not isolate. That's why I don't want to use the word isolate because I just feel like it's like the hermit goes within, like for a reason and for a purpose, and then steps back out into society. So she also says the card means a withdrawal from the outer world for the purpose of activating the unconscious mind. And the imagery of the hermit stems from medieval times of, again, that old wise person in the cabin in the woods where people from society would go visit to get medicine or to learn lessons or to get advice. Though the hermit withdrew from society, he or she did not withdraw from humanity. Among other functions, they gave shelter and sometimes blessings to travelers. Countless stories, especially the Grail legends, depict the hermit who acts as a giver of wisdom to the knight on a spiritual quest. So we can also see this imagery of the hermit of finding like a teacher or a spiritual guide or somebody to kind of lead you somewhere. So the hermit has left the world of the senses to enter the mind. The mind is rich with symbols, with joy, with light, with love of the spirit. But before we can apprehend these things, we must first experience the mind as a silent alternative to the noisy world of the senses. So the reason we retreat from society is because we're just constantly bombarded, especially in this day and age. Can you imagine? Like, they didn't really have that much bombarding them back in medieval times, but like today, I mean, it's just like we are constantly scrolling through social media or out in traffic or in a public place with lots of people. We're constantly bombarded with all of this information coming at us at once. So the idea of the hermit is to like shut all of that off, turn off your devices, close your computer, shut your computer down, get away from people for a little bit. Be by yourself, be with your own thoughts and your own mind and your own feelings and emotions. So the hermit signifies transition, and we can certainly see that, like globally, we are experiencing big shifts and transitions, and especially on a spiritual level as well. Through the techniques of meditation or psychic discipline or analysis, we allow the hidden parts of our psyche to begin to speak with us. So, by quieting the mind, we then are able to listen and hear our inner voice or to hear our spirit guides and to really follow that truth of what is within and taking action after you find that wisdom and find that truth. The symbol of the lantern returns us to the hermit as a guide and a teacher. He holds the light out to us, indicating his willingness to lead us on our ability to find the way if we will only use the strength we have to follow. In some decks, the hermit conceals his lantern under his cloak, and then it symbolizes the light of the unconscious hidden under the cloak of the conscious mind. By making it visible, yet within a lantern, the rider pack indicates that we release the light through a definite process of self awareness and that this process is available to anyone. So I'm really using the lantern as a symbol for this year and as a guide. And I have requested that this community color I've put a coloring page in Discord of a lantern, and I wanna see your lantern, I wanna see your light. I love when everybody colors or creates, like, the same image because they even though it's, like, the literally the same image, they all come out so differently and so unique, and I think that's what's so significant about the hermit is that, like, by going into hermit mode, you're really connecting to your true authentic self and then shining that light out into the world. So I wanna see you color your lantern. I wanna specifically see, like, the light that is emanating from it that you feel like is your light and the energy that you wanna put into the world in 2025. And if you feel called to maybe what like, think about, like, what would your distress signal be like? Like, what can we all look for in this community of, like, signs that maybe you might need some extra help? Because I know that, like, when we're going through difficult times, I personally kind of isolate and retreat when maybe sometimes it's better to be reaching out and talking to somebody, working it through. So I wanted to really focus on the lantern theme in this community to like let us know like when you might be needing extra help and maybe when we should be reaching out. And also what does like the light and the positive energy that you want to put out into the world look like so that maybe if we are struggling and having a bad time, we can reach out to you for help because you are good at helping people through this specific situation or something like that. I would love to see you create a lantern and share it with us in Discord. We have a Coloring in Wonderland Discord channel specifically for sharing your creative work. But I would love to see your lanterns here in this community. So the channeled message that I have for 2025 says, "You are the magic. You have so much within you. You just have to let it out. Life gives you trials and tribulations because it teaches you something so that you can learn and grow. Don't let your thoughts cloud your mind, and don't let your emotions get the better of you. Give yourself the time and space to process them. Your busy lives distract you from this, and then you distract yourselves from that too." We definitely got called out there with like which reminds me, like, are you using your downtime to scroll on social media, to binge watch movies or shows? Are you using your downtime to distract yourself, or are you using your downtime to truly replenish and rest and rejuvenate and maybe even do something creative, like do something that you love, do something that makes you happy instead of just distracting yourself? If you're feeling overwhelmed, take a break. Walk away, breathe, talk to a friend or talk to a therapist, journal about it, scream at the top of your lungs, or go for a run. We cannot run from ourselves in 2025. We cannot avoid being the true self either. This community is so important because you have all learned that you can be your weird individual selves around each other. Let your shadows out and embrace them. Unlock the magic that they hold without judgment or why or how it came to be. Do the healing work, do it alone, and do it together. Shine your light and encourage others to shine theirs. And just some kind of journaling questions that came up through that channeled message to think about, and to think about, like, while you're coloring your lantern, if you choose to do so. What does your light look like? What does your distress call look like? When will others know if or when they should reach out to you? As I said earlier, 2025 being the year of the Hermit, we also want to look at the other tarot cards that are 9 in the tarot deck. So we have the 9 of Cups, which is content and happiness and just feeling fulfilled. But because we're only at 9, we still have that drive. We are still seeking out more emotional fulfillment with the 9 of Cups card. And we also have the 9 of Pentacles, which is like a bountiful garden. It's prosperity, it's abundance, but again, like still needing more, still having that drive for more, still feeling content where you are, like the 9 of Cups is saying, but still wanting to move forward, like wanting complete physical stability. But then the other two cards of the that are 9s in the deck is the dreaded 9 of Swords. This is overthinking, stress, anxiety, the things that keep you up at night, the fears that are hiding under your bed. And we hate seeing this in a tarot reading, but it is so very common. Stress and anxiety is like the number one problem that most people, especially in America, it's plaguing their lives. This is another 9 energy that we want to be aware of this year. And then we have the 9 of Wands, which is not necessarily as negative as the 9 of Swords, but it's still like this guy's been beat up. He's been through it. He's been beat over the head with 8 of these sticks, and he's got 1 stick left to defend himself. So the 9 of Wands card is symbolic of still having more fight left in you. Just like the 9 of Cups is like, I still want more. I'm not completely filled yet. This guy's like, I'm not done yet. I'm not giving up yet. So when we look at all of the 9 cards in the tarot deck, Hermit included, I see all of the 9s here potentially being obstacles that we might encounter. Like we might encounter a lot of stress and anxiety. And when we do, it's time to go into hermit mode, to rest, recharge, and reflect. Maybe do some journaling to help get those thoughts out of your head so that they're not like plaguing you so much. When we have the 9 of Cups card, maybe it's a time to go into hermit mode to reflect and express gratitude for all of this emotional fulfillment that you're feeling with the 9 of Cups card. The 9 of Pentacles, again, expressing gratitude, maybe using this contentment and this stability to help somebody else, or to hold on to that feeling of contentment and that feeling of prosperity and that feeling of worthiness, and using that to figure out what your next step is going to be. Holding on to that energy so that you're believing that, yeah, I do want more. I do want to continue on this journey. I do want to continue with this project. I do want to continue with just keep going. Like having that motivation and that spark that keeps you going. Maybe when we encounter the 9 of Wands card, yeah, you still have more fight left in you, but maybe you need to rest and retreat a little bit more to really let your body recover and recuperate so that, yeah, you still have more fight left in you, but you feel stronger and you feel like if anything comes at me, I've got it. In the Just a Phase Man Planner, we talk a lot about balancing the elements. When we're feeling too much of one element, what are the things that we can do to try to combat and to balance that energy? So, for example, if you are having a Nine of Swords moment and you are feeling overwhelmed, your thoughts are just plaguing you and your heart is racing and you're having panic attacks, or you're just feeling overwhelmed and you can't get sleep at night, look at the other elements and see how maybe you can balance them. Can you balance them with earth to help ground you? Can you get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper? And maybe you want to burn that paper and let those thoughts go, or use crystals to ground and connect to the earth to calm that air energy down, to retreat into the earth, retreat into your hermit hidey hole. Or do you need to release some emotions? If we've got too much air and maybe we're stuffing our emotions down, you want to connect to water energy and allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to have that release, scream or yell, or just simply verbalizing what it is that's plaguing you, all of these thoughts that are running through your mind. Simply just letting them out, allowing for an emotional release. When we have too much earth element, this is when depression comes in. This is when we're feeling stuck in the mud, we're feeling overwhelmed, like we're feeling heavy, like we cannot physically move. So when we have too much earth energy, this is when we want to bring in air energy. We want to find some mental clarity that's going to help pull us out of this funk. So again, this can be journaling, this can be meditating, clearing your mind, and adding that air element gets more movement to the earth element. Or we can add fire. Find something that really lights you up and sparks your interest and brings you joy. Fire is creativity, it's sexuality. Like, find something that will get your body moving out of that rut. However, when we have too much fire energy, this is when we hit burnout. This is when we've spent all of our energy and we just literally have no more gas in the tank. We have no more fuel for that fire. So when we are having too much fire energy, this is when you again want to ground yourself with earth energy, maybe using crystals, doing something physically with your body so that you are burning off that extra energy and actually allowing your body rest and recuperation. Cool the fire element down with the water element. Again, taking a cleansing bath, finding an emotional release to kind of help rest. Like, it's almost like forcing your body to rest, like by burning all of that fuel in your tank. That's when you're going to have to take a rest and recharge. Sometimes we've got too many emotions bogging us down. Sometimes we just are feeling so emotional and so overwhelmed, and we want to look to the other elements again. The air element, meditation, journaling, writing things down is going to help you just identify your thoughts and maybe why these things are overwhelming you. And again, it just helps you get them out. It helps you find clarity. Air element helps us find clarity and wisdom beyond these overwhelming emotions. And again, we can try to ground with earth energy to come back to yourself. A lot of times, doing something physically with your body will help in the same way that it helps with the burnout, to like physically exhaust your body so that you stop and rest, so that you are tired and you rest. When we're talking about feeling emotions, getting your blood moving can help burn some of that emotional energy off so that you're not feeling so overwhelmed. So I hope that this video helps you connect to the numerology energy of the 9 and the Hermit. I hope that you're inspired to allow yourself that hermit mode, to retreat and to recharge and to rest and recuperate and to go within to find that wisdom, to find that spark, to find your light, even on the darkest days that we might encounter in 2025. Not to be all doom and gloom, but know that you have a community here that is going to help reignite your spark, reignite your light. And I believe that we can help each other find that rest and find that rejuvenation and to allow it and to not feel guilty about it, because I think we put so much pressure, or society puts so much pressure on it, that taking a rest is being lazy. I'm here to tell you that, especially now here in winter, let winter be winter. Allow yourself to be a bear and hibernate in your cave. Bring your lantern with you so that you can kindle and ignite that spark when you're ready to come back out. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, please do, and print out your lantern coloring page, because I cannot wait to see everybody's lantern and everybody's light. Remember to allow yourself to go into that hermit mode, but to come back out, because the world needs your light. We need your magic. We need your creativity. We need that whatever spark or light you're going to put out into the world. We need it now more than ever. Thank you so much for watching. I cannot wait to see you on the other side of the looking glass again sometime soon. Fun exercise to do for the beginning of this year is to take all of the 9 cards out of your tarot deck and lay them face down and pick one of them. Or you can just shuffle all the 9s together and pick one of them to see what kind of things you might be facing on this 9 numerological year.